Welcome everybody to Track B, Public Image. Davey Hartzell, Pastor Jay, you guys are up and at 'em.
Yeah, we're getting there. Sorry. Hold on. We just had to have a quick meeting. Hold on.
It's all good. I'm just turning it over to you whenever you're ready.
Is Marshall in here too?
Marshall is here.
Awesome. Good.
I am here.
You probably can't tell because you can't see his pants.
I am wearing pants though. Unlike probably half of you guys. No, Tim, stay seated.
Well, hello, District 6970. It's the great Davey Hartzell here, your public image chair. My co-chair is here with me, Pastor Geraldine Denny. How you doing, homegirl?
Oh my goodness! I didn't know we were going out like that. What you got?
You know, if I can't go to Burger King, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm just saying.
Oh, you didn't see this tiara? What kind of coat you have on? You looking fly.
You know, it's my grandpa's coat. I never wear it. I thought it was a little chilly in the house today, so you know.
Well, you know, since you want to do it like that, let me just put on my little Sega Fox right here. Hey.
Awesome. Well, girl, we don't want to waste too many people's time today, so we got to get on with this. So we're talking about what? Public image?
Yes. Public image.
Well, you made a big scene yesterday. That was awesome, talking about why it's important to have a public image chair. I was talking about programs like Canva and fun things that we can use in the different clubs and the different resources. But I think I want to turn the table over to the great Marshall Butler to tell us what's going on with Zone.
Well, thank you, Davey. I appreciate that. And I shared my screen. So everybody see my screen okay? Always need to make sure. I did a club presentation the other day, and they never told me that I didn't share my screen. It was a little bit awkward when I got to the end and realized I'd just been talking for 30 minutes. But anyway, at the bottom corner, that is the link to this deck if you wanted to follow along with me or look at it. It's also in the chat window, so go ahead and copy and paste that into your browser and follow along. So today I wanted to talk about Rotary 6970 public image, but really want to talk about Zone 34 and about my new role coming up in 2020, 2021. But first, I know we had a lot of fun last night with the Rotary Zoom call bingo. Thanks for all participating. If you want to download it, there's the link in the corner there too. But Zone 34 Public Image Coordinator Team for 2020, 2021. This is the team. I was nominated by President-elect Holger Knock to take over July 1st of this year, and will serve a 3-year term, serving for Georgia, Florida, and the Caribbean, plus parts of South America. That's the team I have. Kelsey is handling most of Georgia. William is my man down in the islands. Lisa is taking care of Southern Florida and Central Florida. And then Kimberly is taking care of West Florida and parts of South Georgia. I cover 6970 plus more parts of the Northeast Florida region. And all of our contact information is there. We are a resource for every club, every district in the zone. If you need help with anything public image related, please reach out to us. Today, I want to talk about a couple of new initiatives, though, that we're going to be doing in the zone the next 3 years. We've been working feverishly getting these things together, and hope that you all use them as a resource as you tell Rotary's story. First up is a Vimeo channel. Vimeo is kind of like YouTube, but it's really more like a private channel. You don't have all the advertising. It also allows you to download the videos. So right now, currently, we have all of the recorded webinars that we've done over the last couple of years. We have all those posted up on our Vimeo channel. Maybe a good program if you are looking for a program during this period with COVID and having to do Zoom calls. We have all of those webinars there, but we look to add a lot more content in the next year or so. If you want to add content, if you have some great Rotary-related public image videos, please share them with us. We can get them up here. You can like that page and be notified every time we add a video. But again, be watching that channel. We're going to be adding a lot of content to it in the coming years.
Hey, Marshall, offline last night, we got a really great positive feedback with Vimeo and trying to learn about that. Can you just tell people that are following us right now, like where they can find this? How do they access this information, specifically the Rotary Zone 34 Public Image Team?
Well, right now we have a website called myrotarystory.org, and we've gotten some feedback though that that there's too many separate websites. And so we're trying to consolidate. We're going to really try to point that website over to the Zone website. And so we're still working on kind of consolidating a lot of this in one central location so folks can find it easily. But I did want to make sure I put these links at the top of these screens so that you guys can find them until we get that kind of consolidated. So I appreciate that feedback. We are working to consolidate it so it's not like, going in 10 different directions to find what you need. And at the end of this slide deck, we do have all of the links to this. And I've provided the link to this deck so that you guys can get all that information. But yeah, Vimeo, I think it's a great tool, and really looking forward to building this out and sharing. I want to share content from you guys. I want to see what District 6970 could do. Video is so important. I know you know that, Davey, and I know Pastor Jay knows that. Video is crucial because it really allows us to invoke emotional responses with people because they connect with us through the video. It's a lot, and pictures are like that too. Video just kind of takes that and amplifies it 10 times. So really want to look to see what we can do in the coming year with video. So be watching this channel. This looks like Inception, but it's not. This is actually Canva. You can see the Canva surround. I built this entire slide deck out of Canva, and I know Davey and Pastor Jay, you guys are going to talk a lot more about Canva, but we do have a Zone 34 Canva channel that we want all the public image chairs for all the clubs to become a part of our team. We're going to be sharing these slide decks. We're going to be sharing social image posts. Canva is just a great resource in terms of being able to create posts and images and advertisements and brochures and slide decks. It really is powerful. A lot of the stuff that I built out at All Florida Pets in Orlando this year, I did it all in Canva. Super powerful tool. So be sure to check that one out too. Example of just how quickly you can create a post. It's got all the dimensions and images for all the different social channels. And there's some examples of what we did a couple of years ago for the 2016-2017 Rotary year, where we really did a lot to promote and publish content about the district conference, among other things.
So, Ursula, I got to interrupt you one more time again on Canva because it's really super important for people to start using these tools. Why? I'm going to ask a silly question because I know the answer, but why Canva, and why not just type out text and just post it? What makes Canva so special? Because
I bet 90% of us are not graphic designers, and Canva makes it super easy because they've got some templates. They've got templates that cover, everything that you can think of. And so, and they've really put together some really nice combinations of fonts and type and images. They've got elements that you can add quickly. They've got beautiful stock photography. And a lot of times it's all in one tool in the browser, and they make it so easy to look really professional. I am a horrible graphic designer, but they really made it super easy to create this content. I mean, we're busy. We don't have time to create all this stuff. Canva makes it so easy. A lot of these, like some of these images on like the North America, I think that was $1 stock photo or something. I mean, it's super cheap, super easy, and it's super quick to get it out and really be consistent with your posting on social channels. That's the most important thing, is being consistent, not going out with a giant, fire hose and then kind of having a dry period, but that consistency, and Canva really makes it easy to be consistent, I think.
Absolutely.
Real quickly, we want to be your programs. If you need a program while you're doing the virtual meetings and the Zoom calls and stuff like that, invite us to do a team presentation. We've got a bunch of different topics. You can see some of them on Vimeo archived. If you think one of those will resonate with your club, please invite us to come speak, and we'll be happy to be there. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of an experiment with this group. We didn't do it yesterday, but we're working on some new tools to help automate and help engage public image chairs as we go through the year. And right now, I'd like, if possible, for folks on this call that are doing public image this coming year, to go ahead and register for the public image citation for next year. Look at that. There's a link right there, and copy that link and paste it in a browser. And there's going to be a quick form that you'll go through. And when you do that, we're going to go ahead and register you for the public image citation. You're kind of a guinea pig. We're going to be testing out some automation and some communications, and really want to start helping you. So looking to this group, looking to my home district of 6970 to help me get this off the ground and hopefully change the way that we do public image in our zone. So If you guys could participate, that would be fantastic.
Hey, Marshall, you've been doing this for a long time, and you've seen
Yeah.
a lot of, service projects and public image chairs go in and out. Can you is there one like specific that, sticks out in your mind that was like, wow, that was a great success story, and look how that club benefited from that public image moment?
I think kind of the aha moment is when folks in a club all realize that they are all responsible for the public image of a club. It's not just one person. It's kind of like membership. The membership chair is not the only one responsible for bringing members into that club. It's the entire club. And you may not be a content creator. You may not be someone that likes to create posts or do stuff like that. You can still share. You can still, if you see something coming out of your club and and it also instills pride in us as club members. If we have a really fantastic public a project that we've done, let's share it with our friends. Let's be that positivity, that good news on our social media feeds. There's so much negativity and stuff that we want to scroll past, but let's be that voice of positivity on our feed. So share the content, tag your friends, because that's what creates those exponential ripples that make sure that our message gets out and gets it out organically. Because we all, as Rotarians, we have incredible circles of influence that we can touch. And if we use those circles of influence to tell the Rotary story, we really will do a great job, because it all starts at the community level. It all starts down here in 6970, telling what we're doing in our community every day. So Davey, I think to see clubs really do a great job and be successful with public image, it's just they need to emphasize to every club member that you're responsible for telling the story and letting the community know, if our Rotary Club wasn't here, all of this would not be happening.
So the zone provides a lot of these resources and tools for the district. Where would you like to see the relationship between zone and district? Is there anything that's missing as far as elements that clubs aren't that need to participate more, or are we on a good path? What's like a little good checkup for us? Like, what do you think?
I think just using the resources, using that team that I showed, and you know what? There are so many great ideas that come out of the clubs. You guys need to let us know what's working and what's effective. When do you see, a bunch of clicks or likes? What are you using in terms of content that really is doing a great job of telling that story? Tell us what works, because it's not, just like Rotary, it's not top down. It comes from the bottom up. And so we need clubs to let us know if they see something effective, because then we can share it with all the other clubs. One of my favorite things to do on Instagram is to follow hashtags. And I follow a lot of hashtags like Service Above Self or Rotary or stuff like that. And I am constantly being inspired by Rotarians around the world that are doing really cool stuff with Instagram. And I look at their posts and see what they did. And then, I want to share it with others. So that's a great tip is, I think a couple of years ago when we had Diane Kessler-Knight speak to us, she called it Rotary R&D. It was Rotary Rip Off and Duplicate. You got to make sure that, we don't need to reinvent the wheel over and over again. Let's look to see what other clubs are doing, other districts are doing. Let's do the same and share it. And so if clubs could share with the zone what's working, that would be fantastic.
It's hard sometimes when you come from a business environment, which, a lot of businesses compete for other businesses, but that's different in Rotary. We don't compete with each other. We're here to try to get each other better and stronger for the service projects that are out in the community. So I think that this is what you're doing with the zone, especially tailoring a hub of here are all these great variables that you can bring to your club. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing.
Well, Davey, I also see it as vocational service, because we're all small business owners. And I think we can leverage what we're doing for Rotary. We can take it back to our businesses, and we can use it in our businesses to grow our business. Use a lot of these strategies, these marketing strategies. Let's use these in our businesses and become stronger as business owners. So in turn, we can make Rotary stronger.
Love it. Awesome.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. You guys are doing great, Davey and Pastor Jay, and always glad to support District 6970. Contact information is there. Let me know what I can do to help.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marshall.
Thank you.
All right. So that was our zone update, folks. That was pretty good. Here we go with Pastor Jay. How's it going, my lady?
Man, well, I'm just fabulous over here. I don't know about you.
So, Pastor Jay, could you talk to the group about why it's important to have a public image chair in your club?
Oh, I mean, that's a lot to say, because it is crucial and it is so very important to have this chair. For instance, I mentioned yesterday how every year there's another theme. There's a new president. So in order to have that consistency and that continuity from year to year, to get the message out in terms of what does your club focus on? Every club is different. So when you have a new president and a new theme, sometimes you'll see a valley. A club will have a high year and a low year, depending upon the personality of the president. But the content and the image of the club should stay the same. So having a public image chair will get that information out. For example, something that's important to one president may not be important to another, but you're still doing the activity.
Mm-hmm. You're still doing the service project.
You're still doing the service project. And it's still one of the things that make Rotary so attractive to new members is to see that you're not a stop, drop, and go type organization, that
Right.
you still care. So if you're doing this service project now, oh, that's the hot item because everyone's feeding the homeless, used as an example this year. But next year, you move on to something else. But a lot of clubs are still helping the homeless. So
Correct.
a good image chair will make sure that message is still being put out there.
So, okay, July 1, we start public image chair. This club, let's have a fictitious club right now. I'm the public image chair, starting out, coming up with a plan of attack, looking quarter by quarter and how you're going to be able to capitalize on each moment and how to make it great. First quarter, what do? We got a service project. Maybe we clean up the beaches, or we, like you said, we're feeding the homeless. Perfect. Right. Then we move into sort of holiday time. It's always a good, feel good on the heartstrings. Maybe we do another service project, or maybe we're highlighting members. There's a lot of clubs out there that have some awesome ideas on how to highlight members, because during this time of the pandemic, we have got to retain membership. And if you look at the leadership of Rotary, it is a fear in everybody is to lose a single member. So what are we going to do? We're going to drive that value. Membership value is important. So highlight your members. I think it's Rotary Club of South Jacksonville. I talked about them yesterday. They do a Member Monday. That's amazing. They take one member, they do a little quick bio. Bill likes to walk blind puppies on the beach and has a great, and it was very awesome and cute. And then that post went out to the whole community, and everybody that knew Bill liked it because they know whether they're a Rotarian or not. You're driving that information back to your club, which is so important. Your club, like Pastor Jay said yesterday, needs to be the hub of information in your community. That is a long-term goal, but I think it could definitely be done. I don't read the newspaper. I go to Rotary Club of Flagler County Facebook page or Instagram. I want to see what's going on in the nitty-gritty on the front lines. Pastor Jay, do you have anything to highlight?
Yeah, I want to add this, because public image is your community perception. It is your reputation. It's the opinion that people have about your particular club, and how that's interpreted and how your reputation upholds in the community is based on your public image. So those that are on the line, I want you to think about this. Do an inventory of the members that are in your club. One of the things that I see that's underutilized are the gifts and talents of your own members. For example, I'm going to use my club. During this COVID-19 pandemic, my club, Flagler County Club, you know who's a member of our club? Our county sheriff. He puts out tons of information in our county about what's going on with COVID-19. He is a member of our club. We have the county administrator that's a member of our club. The head of the hospital foundation is a member of our club. So do an inventory of those that are in your club, and those are your assets. Everyone, it doesn't matter. Even if someone's working in, we have someone that works at the funeral home in our club. So during this crisis, those are valuable resources that you can turn your social media platform, all of them, into a source of information for your club. Someone may work at Publix and have inside information at Publix. It doesn't matter if they are the manager of Publix, they work in the meat department, they know something. So do an inventory. Public image is makes up, I look at it as every member of your club makes up your image. That's
And Dr.
exactly
J,
right.
I want to ask you a question. What do you think the difference is between marketing and public relations?
Oh, I don't know that there really is. Okay. I don't know that there's a difference. Marketing is getting the information out there. Public relation is just that, is having that relationship, using the marketing tools and making it relatable. And that's something that our club and all the clubs that Rotary needs to do, is become relevant. How do you become a relevant club? What makes you special in your community? What does the community know about you? What are you known for? You know, what have they heard about your organization? One of the clubs in our county, Flagler Beach Club, Tim O'Donnell he works for the County Volunteer Services Organization. He's involved with that organization. So you may have members that are involved with other organizations within a community. I have noticed he has used that connection to highlight his club. Everything that the volunteer services are doing for our community, you can best believe Tim O'Donnell is piggyback riding everything that his club is doing on that. So you have to find what it is. If it's business, you know, several members of our club are members of the Chamber of Commerce. You know, so take an inventory. You do have to remember that the members of your club is your public image. It is your public image.
And there's a difference between brand awareness and brand identity. I think brand awareness is what's going on with the now. But brand identity is, what is the story of your club? Who are your founding members?
Oh, yeah.
Tell that story. That narrative is so important because that's the core of what makes you go out and service above self every single day. Those are the people that inspired your club to stick together. And I think that in this time right now, we need to enrich that, and we need to really tell the story of our clubs. We can be prolific storytellers. Look at all those campfire chats that some clubs have, and to listen to what the members are doing, you know, even with COVID support. It's just important to really highlight the people that are surrounding us in our clubs at this moment. Look at businesses right now. Businesses need a digital touch because right now it is so important. Now, yesterday we learned that Yelp and Google reviews are suspended because of COVID support, and Google didn't want to have negative reviews to businesses that are already hurting right now, which that's their prerogative. They will turn that back on, but I would like to suggest when they turn that back on is to go through any business that has sponsored your club, anybody that has given to the foundation through your club something to highlight that business. Do a Google review, 5-star Google review, all the way. Just do it. It is so important because that is going to enhance your local business. And then when you go back and do that ask the next time, they'll remember, oh, that's that club that gave me that 5-star review during a time when I barely could survive. They're going to remember that, and they're going to support your club's initiatives. That's a very important thing. So what do we do in this time period when Google reviews are off? Well, yesterday we came
There's so many things that you can do, Davey. I don't know that Facebook has turned off their reviews. You know, several social media platforms have reviews. You can share businesses, take pictures. A lot of these businesses have supported your club, have sponsored your club, and they may have even spoken your club. Go back and look at some of the things that you guys have done together and post some pictures and say some positive things about your sponsors.
So Facebook reviews have changed a little bit. They are now no longer called reviews. They're called recommendations.
That is
and
correct.
They can only be done by an individual. So if you're going to go and do the Facebook recommendations, I would suggest starting it off with Rotary Club of St. Augustine Beach. You know, I'm Davey Hartzell from Rotary Club of St. Augustine Beach. We thank you so much. And just talk collectively about your club so that you can drive that brand awareness through that, because otherwise you can't do it as just your club. That is a new caveat that I think that they just rolled out.
Yesterday I mentioned, and I think I asked the question, how relevant is your club? What do people know about you? during this COVID-19 crisis, when the pressure is on, it's going to tell a lot about your club. What's going on? Are people calling you? Are they coming to you for information? Do they think you are a valuable source in the community? Think about what Rotary has done for you. Share that story. Get people in your club to share that story. We have seniors of the month that come in, athletes of the month, they come in. And I was speaking with our president, Dr. Lee, yesterday about asking them to do maybe like a little review or a testimonial. So when they come and present, or we give them their certificate in the future, we're going to have them mention how the award or the money or whatever it is that we've given them, how it has changed their life. So you need to start recording those little tidbits. Do the reviews when people come and speak at your club. Even if you're doing Zoom call meetings, make a note that, okay, I need to discuss XYZ company. Highlight restaurants that are open. Be relevant and get testimonials. That's one thing that I've noticed a lot of clubs are failing to do, is they're not getting testimonials and they're not posting them. All of that is part of your public image and how you're connecting with the community.
So tell us what a testimonial is to you.
Oh my good, it's your story. It really is. Your testimonial is your personal story, and it's going to be different for everyone. That's what make them so great.
So yesterday you also talked about like sponsorship opportunities and like, you know, what if partnering and getting that return on investment?
Well, let me tell you, it is crucial. It is so crucial. I want you to think about it. Think of everyone you have given $1 to or have given service to, and see if they have even listed your club as a partner or sponsorship on their website.
Yeah.
Most of them haven't done that. You've got to get some type of return on your investment. That's crucial, and it's so important because it gets your name out there. You become relevant. You're tagged with that. The other thing is, again, take inventory of those that are in your community. You don't have to do everything as a Rotary Club, but you have members within your organization that do so many things. I'm one of them. So you can get involved with that. I do my homeless thing every year. I do the back to school thing every year. And I've noticed, and I've challenged my club to get involved. We have other people in our club that are doing so many wonderful things. And there's nothing wrong with partnering with other organizations.
You know, Pastor Jay, case in point, talk about the world famous Tracy Loftus and what he did for Hijackers.
Wow. Tracy is amazing. Now, Hijackers is his Friday night spot. Him and past District Governor Jeanette Loftus, they go to Hijackers all the time.
You guys, listen to this story. Listen to it. It's very good.
So when Hijackers opened up, of course, Tracy had to go and get his wings from Hijackers, but he challenged everyone who went to Hijacks, if they mention his name, mention the club, that he was going to donate $5 up to $100 to a local food bank.
That's amazing.
How cool was that?
The power of community connectivity. That's it right there. Boom.
So, little things. So that raises your public image.
Absolutely. People are always going to remember that moment, especially the people at Hijackers. So that when you guys go and do your fundraisers, when we're allowed to be back and being social, you can go to Hijackers and be like, hey man, can I get a silent auction? Or do you want to sponsor blah, blah, blah? Or my golf tournament's coming up, you want to be a whole sponsor? That makes that conversation so much easier. And it just, because you've already had that established relationship. I think that was a very poignant story just to kind of drive home. Who doesn't want to, you know, to say, to help a food bank, right? Especially in this time period.
Exactly. And include those who have helped you. We do Thirsty Thursdays this year. Last year was One Wednesday, and this year we did Thirsty Thursday. So the first thing I did was discuss with our president, hey, we can't meet, but why not do a Thirsty Thursday online? So we invited a restaurant to come and do some drinks, live drinks, and we had a little social event, and they created a drink called Quarantini. And we all was able
the bartender was there live in person on the
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
They had two fabulous bartenders and they did all types of things, but that was one of the sponsors that have helped us so much. So we all made a pledge. We're going to go to that restaurant next week to support them.
Absolutely.
Because they need the support. So the next time we have an ask, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to give.
Absolutely.
They're going to want to serve. So
because you remember them when they were
something that we're doing.
100%. Super great. So let's turn the floor over to other members out there. We would love to hear some success stories of this year. I know, Cassie, you're phenomenal at public image. Can you talk a little bit about, some highlights of your year?
Yeah, so we use a lot of public image for youth exchange primarily, because that's the best way to reach the young audience, younger audience. That's where they go to for their news and for their information. So what we've done throughout this past year is we've done it for a couple of years. We do a lot of Instagram takeovers for our students. I've actually done it myself, where we give the kids access to the Instagram account and they do what's called a story. So there's for those who aren't familiar with Instagram, there's a post which stays on there permanently. And then you have stories which go out for 24 hours. So what we do is we do an Instagram takeover for a story, and the students get it for 24 hours. They have access to the account. So it's basically a day in the life, and it's actually really fun. You can post pictures, video. We use Canva a lot for our post. But it just really gives you an insight of how everybody's day to day is like. So I did mine during quarantine, and we've been using it a lot. I'm lucky that I still get to leave the house and go to work. I work for another gentleman out of his home, and we're considered an essential business. So I did my story. I shared like getting up, eating my breakfast, heading out to work, how I'm lucky that I actually do get to leave the house to go to work. Talked a little bit about what I do for the day, just kind of did some updates. And it's silly little stuff, but the kids will ask questions throughout the day. And I actually had other Rotarians. We follow other organizations all around the world, all the other districts, other youth exchange programs, other youth exchange programs outside of Rotary, pretty much anybody and anywhere that we can. We have almost 1,000 followers on our Instagram account now. So we really just—
And tell everybody where to follow you.
At RYE 6970. It's also how we use it to do our recruiting in the fall. We do all of our presentations and parent information meetings. Through that, we notify them any changes that we have. We send it out because it is the fastest way to get information out to young adults. If you want to get that group out there and we're all looking to recruit new members, that is a great way to do it.
I want to highlight that you talk about stories, and I think that is really the future of social media is stories, because they are day in a life. It's like 15 seconds, little short snippets, but they're really cool because you just kind of feel like you're there with the people, especially your stories, because you feel like you're with the kids. They're like, wow, look at what they're accomplishing and what they're connecting with. Do you have a success story from this year from a particular student?
Yes, the one that really it got me in tears. Our one student, Maren Rohrbacher, was in Italy, in Lombardy region during the quarantine, and she had made the commitment to stay. She actually just came home she just got out of her self-isolation about a week ago. So she ended up coming home a little early, but she stayed through a majority of the outbreaks in Italy. And we contacted, I have actually a coordinator who does our takeovers and does the schedule. And we contacted Maren and we said, Maren, would you please do the Instagram takeover? We really think it would be helpful for people to see what is happening in Lombardy, Italy. Like she was, everybody saw the office building of people singing on the balcony. She could see that building from her kitchen window at her house.
Wow.
So to be able to hear, we only hear our side of the news on it, but to hear her perspective of how things were and to see the empty streets and to hear how she was dealing with being in self-isolation in literally the biggest outbreak in the world was very moving. Like it brought me to tears, but I was also insanely proud of her because she showed such resiliency and passion, and it kind of made us realize, like, okay, it's bad, but it's really not that bad. Like her sister and her were baking. Her mom is like, she explained that you had to submit a request online to leave the house, and then you get a paper printed out, and then you can go to the grocery store. So she was explaining how that works. And so her mom and sister were baking, and they were doing facial makeovers and just all the stuff that they were doing. And she was posting this for 24 hours of what her day was. And it was really moving, and you really felt part of what she was like in her day in that kind of a lifestyle.
So I'm gonna ask you, when you do your takeovers, do you have them pre-scheduled out? Like, do you do pre-marketing before? Like, everybody stay tuned, Jimmy's gonna do a takeover. Okay. How far out do you do that?
I have a Rotex coordinator, and on our committee, she's actually a junior at UF. She manages all of the Instagram takeovers. She says the schedule out. She uses Canva, puts those out, usually about 48 hours, and she'll post it to our actual Instagram account, and then we'll share it on our story a couple of times out. So if you go onto our account, you'll see all of our other stories that we have. We also will go back to Rotex, and we'll have them go back sometimes and do a recap story. We just use it as much as possible because that really is how they communicate with each other.
Love it, love it. So Pastor Jay, talk about your club and the different social media platforms that you guys use. What is successful and what doesn't really speak for your club at this moment?
Oh, wow. You know, I want to say this because I spoke with our president yesterday. And one of the challenging things she has been having is distributing information. And I was encouraging her, and of course, I'm not the chair of my club. You know, I'm the co-chair with you, Davey, but I am not the chair for my club. I just get involved with whatever, which is great. So I was giving her some ideas yesterday in distributing information, especially when it comes to, she's in the email group. She wants to email everyone, everything. And she can tell when she sends out emails through DACDB who opens them and who does not. So we're right at 50%. And I was explaining to her that she needs to start distributing information on multiple platforms. And I want to encourage you to do that as well. Some people may read their email. Some may do Facebook. Some may do Instagram. It may be Twitter. You know, you don't know. So some of the information may need to be distributed on multiple platforms. So do not limit yourself. Right now, we're just using Facebook and Twitter. And I was encouraging them, if you want to attract a different group, a younger crowd, I know we have some younger members in our club, you're going to have to start using Instagram. We're going to. So you become what you focus on. So if you want a broader focus, you're going to need to start reaching out and coming out of your comfort zone. The other thing that I find that's crucial is important is value. You need to improve the experience of your current members and how your members perceive your club. If your members aren't coming to your meetings, if they aren't sharing your event information, if they aren't inviting others to join your club or to visit your club, you need to sit back and think a minute, what's going on here?
So how would you circumvent that? Would you make an incentive program? Because there are many members out there that are not doing what sharing or liking, but you got to inspire them. We can't just say, you do this, because that's not what we are.
I would say we need to inspire them, but also what I think is crucial and important that we need to do is find what connects with them. And that's what happened if you do not connect with your members, and if members aren't connecting, then they're not going to participate. If you don't value them, some members may not have the great gifts of wearing a feather boa on their head, but that's okay. Value every member. Past District Governor Jeanette Loftus, and I tell this story how I joined the club. One of the members asked me to speak. Now, I spoke at another Rotary Club in our county previously, and I just went to the club, I spoke, and they gave me a certificate, I went on. But when I spoke at the club that I'm a member of now, past District Governor said, she's a Rotarian, somebody give her an application. She saw value in me. And because she saw that value in me as a Rotarian, I've joined the club. And here I am now, I'm less than 2 years later doing what I do, because not only did she see value in me then, she continued to invest in me. And that's what we need to do with our members. To improve their experience for our current members, we've got to value every individual member and invest in them. Find out what their niche is. I was sharing this with our president on yesterday, that during, as I said, membership and public image works hand in hand. So maybe when you bring in new members now, find out what they like, what they're involved in, what their hobbies are, and go ahead on and slide them in a slot, a position, a volunteer place within your club. Because otherwise, most people won't do anything unless you ask them to.
I mean, I think we can even go even simpler than that. I think you can even just start with birthdays. That's
Yes.
easy. Start with birthdays. Happy birthday. That's it. Just have the club sign a bunch of cards and making sure that, you know, each member for their birthday gets it. I think it's just that touch.
We do that. And just so you know, I send out birthday cards to everyone for their birthday. When we were meeting, we brought all the birthday people up front and presented them with their birthday card. Rotary has these wonderful, cute little happy birthday from Rotary.
Mhm.
And we would mail out the cards, or we give them to them if they went in a present. The year before that, we had a birthday cake. We did birthdays once a month. Now I try to call as many people as I can, see what they need during this COVID-19 crisis. And then I say, would you like me to place you on my call list? We have to remember that people are lonely. They're missing those connections. So I have a little call list of people that I call weekly, just to say hi. Again, when you show that you care and people think that you value them and their opinion, they're going to show up.
Hey, Pastor Jay, we have a question out there from Bill Sorensen. He said, are there any good resources or tips for Instagram? I'll be honest, I don't get it. That's a really great question, Bill, because the difference between Facebook and Instagram is significant. Instagram is focusing on the action. It's an actual picture. It's basically like a magazine. You're just flipping through pictures, but they're pictures that inspire you.
Yes.
And where the power of public image lies is the power of interruption. How are you going to get them to stop dead in their tracks from just scrolling left, right, boom, boom, and then they're like, whoa, that's a powerful post. Bunch of people digging Habitat for Humanity or putting tiles up on a brand new house, feeding the homeless, actually showing a member like stretched out, giving the resources to somebody that's receiving it. That's that power of, wow, that's the Winn-Dixie right down the street by me. You're putting these people in the shoes of the action, and that's what Instagram's about. Facebook is turning more into a professional platform of information. You can be a little bit more verbose on Facebook. You can have more freedom with words, and you can, if you have a long segment, you can put it on there. There's not a limitation. Where Instagram will limit you as with the wording of things. It's more of a imagery. Just on the Peloton. Yes, follow me, Wavy Davy on Peloton. That's so funny. So does anyone else have any questions out there? Oh, is Facebook going after LinkedIn's bread and butter of professional networking? That's a great question. Probably. I think so. It's if you look at LinkedIn and you look at the setup between LinkedIn and Facebook, it's very similar. So I don't know. That's a really good question. Pastor Jay, what do you think about all these platforms?
Well, you know, the thing is, different platforms appeal to different people. Again, that's why it's important to use as many as you can. And the one question about Instagram, you don't get it. I don't get it either. So you know what I do? You find a teenager that gets it. You find,
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's exactly what you do. You find someone else that gets it. It's not the responsibility of one person. And can you imagine? I look for volunteers all the time. All the time, looking for someone to help me this, someone to help me with that. And I have a radio show. So I reach out to a young person. I called the high school and said, hey, I need an intern.
Yeah.
You call the local college, you need an intern. There is nothing wrong. Can you imagine if our Facebook clubs called high schools and called our local colleges and said, hey, we need someone to help us with XYZ? Do it. That's another way to get all these social media platforms together. As far as LinkedIn and Facebook and all these other kind of things, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
But
I
don't
mean, it can get overwhelming. So I would consider, if you're starting out, start with one platform.
Yep.
And build your momentum. And I honestly will push you to start with Facebook because I think it's still universal. It's still pretty solid with what we're doing with service projects. We have a really, really good poignant question, and we're almost out of time, but I really want to get to this. I've been in 2 different clubs. Typically, the club Rotary website is somewhat pedestrian, and several members are Facebook gifted. How do you spice up a website with other media modes to try to drive traffic? Well, if you have a great traffic flow on Facebook, then say, for more information, you go to our website and possibly put the website in the post. So they click and then boom, you're driving traffic, especially if it's a really long post. Put the long post on your website. Just have a little link that they click and you drive your business right to that website. Therefore, you're going to get a touch on your Facebook traffic flow, and you're going to get a touch on your website. Why are those touches important? It's that SEO. It's that digital zip code that says that's a hot spot, and Google will push websites in the forefront of search engines to be able to get highlighted. And that's public image, because you're really getting in the forefront of public acknowledgement. What are the civic clubs in my area? If somebody types in Google, well, Google knows you have high traffic on your website. Well, this is obviously an important civic group, so I'm going to put this to the front, and then boom, Rotary Club of West Jacksonville is on the top of the leadership board on that. So just things like that, you can really tap into those. And Pastor Jay, you hit that right out of the park. Use your local youth that can help you and mentor your image. They're very savvy with this stuff. Yeah.
You can use those platforms. And lastly, I want to share again about, during this crisis, this COVID-19 pandemic, things that you can do. You would be surprised the people in your club that are already doing so much. Take inventory of what they're doing. Be part of that. Most people don't even know that I have an emergency child care for essential care workers. Yeah, for essential workers, I have emergency childcare, free or low-cost childcare. Now, that may not be a Rotary thing, but it is. You know why? Because I'm a Rotarian. Anything someone in your club does that's a Rotarian, it is a Rotary thing.
But talk about, without it getting spun out of control, because then if you have clubs with 120 some odd members, they're all doing their own service projects, and there's Rotary, blah, 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 coming as a unified front. Remember, we talked about having a plan. And
have
making sure,
a plan.
right?
Highlight
So obviously,
mentors, have a plan. And some of the things that people are doing are similar. So you may be able to put that in groups.
Correct. Yes.
But that's the importance of having a public image chair, is you have one person or a group of small people, or if it's a club, that are going to control that information going out there. Not just everybody's doing random things, saying random things, posting random things. I have access to our club's social media platforms. I don't post all my personal stuff on that platform. I don't do that.
Yeah, good. Keeping it Rotary centric. Real quick, Jeanette Loftus says DACDB is an easy way to learn websites for the not so techie Rotarian. I think that's great, because it is. It's very simple, and it's all spaced out properly, and it's not like I don't understand what this means. DACDB makes it very, very simple solution for the not so techie Rotarian. I love it. Well, thank you everybody for participating today. This was an awesome virtual assembly. We had no idea if we were going to have 3 people or 300, but it's just warming to see everybody out there. And please email me or Pastor Jay if you have any questions. Just super grateful that we had this opportunity. So thank you, Pastor Jay. High five digitally. You did amazing. Thanks, buddy.
Ooh, wow.
So one thing I need to do is just, we're trying to give away some gift certificates to these participants.
I want to win.
Let me pull up my internet random number generator, if you can believe that. And I'll try and share this in a minute, because trust but verify. Okay, and we have 25 participants. And the winner of this, oh good Lord, crosswalks. Didn't have to do this before. Anybody else see a crosswalk?
You got him.
That's it? All right, random number 16 will be assigned to participants in random order this afternoon, and we'll send you out information about that. We'll secure a $25 gift card to a restaurant, local restaurant, hopefully, of your choice. Davey, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Get outside today if you can. It's going to be gorgeous.
Fabulous.
Bye, everybody.
We'll leave this this Zoom open. You guys take a break. If you're coming back, just kind of you can stay in it or you can log back in, whatever you choose.